Okay, guys. So let's continue with the understanding of the regression model. So, for those who don't know, regression model is more of line fitting. Okay, so those who understand curve fitting, it's a particular linear line that you have to fit to the given model that we have in our hand. Okay, so let me take a simple example that can help you guys understand this. So, let's say that I want to estimate something like what is the number of people who voted. Okay, so let's take, I'm working for election of 2019. Okay, central election, and I want to know the population that voted based on how many people are above 18. Okay, so some function of population uh, over 18. Okay, so this is what I want to know. Now, the thing is that I know, regardless of how many new people have been added, some people might have passed away. All of those things taken account for. This number is an approximation which I have. So to predict this particular value, which will be our y, I'll not be able to predict it accurately, right? So let's say this is the population which has turned 18. Let's make it even more interesting. Since last election, okay, so I want to see the 2019 election. Uh, Last election was in 2014, right? So in 2014, let's say some people were voting, and more majority of them will continue to vote. And in the last 5 years, a lot of people have been added. Okay, that is my X. My X is the number of people who have been added to the voters list to vote in 2019. Now I want to see how many people will it vary, right? So there are three things here. First is that I can't estimate this number exactly. Now, is it relatable that the number of people, the more number of people are there in a democracy who are eligible to vote, the more number of voters there will be? Yes. But is it an exact formula? No. Right. So we try to estimate these things. So the model that we are building, y equals to alpha plus beta cap x, right? This x being the number of voters which has been added in the last election. In this particular scenario, this beta is the coefficient which tells me how much does this variable affect the value of y, right? And this alpha here stands for all the other things. For example, this alpha will compensate for all the people who died and can't vote, all the people who decided not to vote. Okay, it will also account for the population who doesn't have a voter ID card, so they can't vote, or even for the fraudulent votes. Okay, so all of those things will be contained in this alpha, and that I assume is there. Okay, my objective is to know how much does this x, that is the number of voters which has been added, affect the number of y. That's my objective, right? I assume that I know that there is some sort of an error in the model which I will build. I will never build an error-free model. Okay, there's a very popular quote in statistics that no model is correct, but some of the models are useful. Okay, so the no statistical model is absolutely correct. All of them will have some error. It's just that some of them are very useful to us, just like this one. So what I do is that in a particular alpha and beta, which I will get from here, I add this error just to make sure that whatever the error is, I have added or reduced that amount of error with this term E. And this particular thing is something you cannot reduce. Okay. So this is the error which you can't control. Okay. This is inherent error. So this is the error in the system itself. Now, to get an intuition why this thing is there, let's assume that this is the population that I'm trying to capture. Now, no matter how good a line I draw, okay, no matter how good a line I draw, my line will not be able to touch all the points, right? So that particular, let's only have 3 points. No matter how good a line you draw, it will not be able to give you absolute value of all of these three things, right? So for that particular reason, you may go for this, or this, or maybe this, but you will never be able to touch all three lines. So there will be some sort of an error, right? So that is the inherent error, that our model is an approximation and not an absolute representation of things. So this error we cannot reduce, but we can estimate this alpha and beta such that this is minimum. Okay, so that is the objective here. So this y bar is our approximation. X bar is representing the value, inherent value, even if it is zero. That is, nobody in the last 5 years, let's say, have been given a voter ID. What will be the number of people who still votes? It's like those who turned 18 after the last election, since till this election, never got a voter ID card. But their parents, people who voted in 2014, who are still alive, they will vote, right? So this alpha is representing those people. And how many of the people in their last 5 years have turned 18 are going to vote? That is the youth voters, the first time voters. How many of the first time voters turned out? Okay, so this beta factor is something that will calculate that. Okay, so this is what we have. So this model will have a value like this is your alpha, right? And this slope is your beta, which will tell you that, okay, with every increase in x, okay, so this is my x, with every increase in x, how much your y changes, right? That is the value of beta. So with x turned into, let's say, x plus 1, the amount of change in the dependent variable, that is the number of people who voted, based on the independent variable, that is the number of people who turned 18 plus. You cannot control that. So this relation is what the linear regression represents. Now, since it's a linear regression, it will have a straight line. So this is the equation of a straight line, y equals to mx plus c, right? I hope that you all understand this particular thing, because when I say, let's say, in India, y bar equals to 40.5 plus 6.8 x being this variable. So I'm saying that 40.5 billion people will vote no matter what, and 6.8 million more people will vote. 6.8 times the number of population which has increased will vote. Okay. Now the thing is, actually this number should not be greater than 1. In this particular case, it will be less than 8. So let's say 6.8. So at least out of the people who are eligible to vote according to my data, 68% of them are voting this year. That's the increase with this particular thing. And this is an approximation. In reality, the number is much lower, right? So from this particular number, you can expect a lot of things, right? So let's say the price of a particular perfume, right? Now, for those who understand, price of, let's say, Uber. Okay, now let's try to predict this thing. Y equals to the price of a ride from, let's say, Mahatma Gandhi Road to Jawaharlal Nehru Road. Okay, equals to the distance between them is 5 kilometers. So the 45 rupees will be charged. That is the bare minimum fee. Plus, let's say this beta times, let's say, the demand. Okay, let's have some variable which can measure the demand. So let's take this variable to represent either 1, 2, or 3. Okay, 1 is in the morning. Let's say 0 is when it is evening. Everybody is in their offices and work. And this is your, let's say, 6 p.m. or whatever time you can consume. This is 12 and this is 9 in the morning. Now, this value 0, 1, 2, 3. It's a categorical variable. It can take only one of these three values. So in the morning, this is times 1. So 45 plus beta will be the price of this particular route. Whereas in case of 12 p.m., we will have only 45 because not a lot of people are there. Now, this 3 represents that, okay, at 6 p.m., everybody gets back home. So everybody needs a cab. So there's a high demand. So the price charge will be 45 plus 3 beta. And beta can be any value. We have to estimate that. So that is the thing. This is a kind of regression you can do, okay, to estimate the price that Uber might charge you, or the function that they are using to change the prices from time to time. Now, here we have used only one variable for simplicity. Later, we will see something called as multivariate regression, where you will see that there are hundreds of variables we can add here. Okay, and we, as a user, you can observe how Uber fluctuates. As an engineer at Uber, you can measure how much are people actually willing to pay, right? So all of those things you can measure from this particular regression analysis. I hope that you guys have understood the key representation of the error term, the alpha and the beta. If you have understood that much, be it from here, be it from the graph, be it from this discussion, that was the core objective of this particular video. So if you've understood that, that's more than enough. Else, Go back and check it again, because this particular thing will be referred in every single video from now.